Hello guys. Happy Saturday. This is Lunar Goddess Tarot. I'm Sarah and I'll be your intuitive guide and your reader today. If you are new to the channel, please do have a look around, share, subscribe, watch some videos, relax. I am a reader. I'm an intuitive guide. I am also a coach, and I also incorporate astrology into the readings that I produce and provide for you. I also have a Patreon, which you can support me in that way and also gain access to other content, including new moon and full moon readings, as well as extended readings over there, and as well as written readings and written energy reports and energy updates, which are really amazing to have at this time. And if you're new to the channel and wondering what it is that I do offer tarot card readings, and I focus a lot on the divine feminine empowerment. I focus a lot on the divine masculine empowerment. I focus on inner union. I focus on this ascension that the earth is going through at this time, how we're ascending, how that's affecting us. And I also incorporate astrology into my readings. I offer private readings. You can check that out on my website. It's listed in the description box below. And I also offer twin flame readings. And I wanted to let you guys know I'm going to have a slew of new readings available over on the website shortly. We're stepping back into eclipse season in October and November, excuse me. Apparently there's some throat clearing that somebody needs to do out there. So chant and sing and hum and get it all out. So I, excuse me, I do offer many different types of readings. You can check those out. And for today, what we're going to focus on is what are our blind spots right now on the journey. What is it that we're not seeing, that we're not, for some reason, that we're not able to tap into, that we're not able to see, or something that's not making sense to us. And if you'll excuse me for 1 second, I'm just going to hop on over to my bookcase. Sorry guys, I meant to grab these before I stepped into the reading. I got ahead of myself, but here they are. Okay, so I wanted to use the Syrian Starseed Tarot. I was called to use that for this reading. And I also wanted to use the Hero's Journey Oracle. And I'm sticking with the Shaman's Dream Oracle, which I've been using for the past 2 weeks or so, because this is just very powerful right now. And it's assisting us and receiving the messages that we most need to receive. So let's take a moment and just call in the highest of the high. Also, you guys want to protect yourself at this time. Okay, I'm telling all my private clients, please protect yourself, protect your energy. Make sure that you're enveloping yourself, encasing yourself in a protective white light. Not even if you're going to be going out, but just at all times right now. There is spiritual warfare and there is an attack on the light. So make sure that wherever it is that you're going, whatever it is that you're doing, that you are protecting yourself, especially if you know you're going to be in the midst or in the energy or space of others who may not be carrying the highest vibration. Okay. I'm going to start shuffling. We're going to actually start with the Hero's Journey. This is where they'd like me to start today. We're going to check in and see where the divine masculine energy lies, where the divine feminine energy lies. And again, what are the blind spots that we might not be privy to? And the reason for this is that there might be a lot of blind spots right now is because we're turning a corner in our journey. We're not who we used to be. We're becoming who we are, or who we've always been. And also we have North Node and Taurus, South Node and Scorpio. And this eclipse axis is falling on the Scorpio-Taurus axis. So we're about to step into a new moon in Scorpio. I believe it's October 25th, and a full moon. So it's a new moon solar eclipse in Scorpio coming up in October, and a full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus. Okay, so Scorpio represents our connection to those Plutonian energies. the underworld, the subconscious mind, what it is that we're hiding from ourselves. So knowing that the South Node, the things that we are to be mastering right now, is in the sign of Scorpio. North Node in the sign of Taurus, with this eclipse axis falling on the same as the nodes. What do we know? Whatever is playing out in our 3D world right now is what is playing out in our subconscious. We're seeing it come to light. We're seeing it in real time now. So now we're learning to master the subconscious mind. All right. Divine masculines, drum roll please, the call. Now, there are 4 what I would call major arcana cards in this deck. And to me, the hero's journey is the major arcana of the tarot deck, and it is also the twin flame journey. So how beautifully representative. Honor the whisper of your soul, divine masculine. Yes, divine masculines are in the crux of their journey. They are in the deepest parts of discovering and rediscovering who they are, their roots, their soil. I mean, they're really getting their hands dirty, energetically speaking, because they've gone to that place where they thought they could escape and get off the journey, forget about the divine feminine. Now they're in the place where they're accepting what is. They're accepting who they are. They're accepting, like the way they would say it would be, I'm accepting my lot in life. I'm accepting the hand that I've been dealt. But even more than that, they're starting to realize that they are co-creators with the universe. And it's more painful now for them to remain unseen and unheard and to not reveal their truth than it is for them to reveal their truth and be vulnerable. They're realizing vulnerability really isn't all that scary. What's scarier to them is living a life where they're going to be forgotten, is living a life where they're not being authentically them. What is their true calling? That's what they're mastering. This is what they might not be seeing right now through the darkness, through the dark night of the soul, where they fall, where they stumble, okay, where they hide in the bat cave. This is where the divine masculine masters self, alone in the silence, mastering loneliness, mastering abandonment, because they're realizing, well, I can never abandon myself, or I will never abandon myself again. So even if others abandon me, I am not going to abandon myself. We see like this is almost a formless energy here, the call. This is such an innate internal experience, and it's so strong. It's like a magnetic force. There's a force field that the divine masculine has stepped into right now. And there is no like, oh, I'm just going to wake up from the stream. I'm just going to wake up and it's not going to be real. And if I disconnect from the feminine and the 3D, then maybe this never really happened. Well, now they understand that that's not even possible. That is not possible. So everything right now is about fulfilling their mission. Everything is about, this was a dream come true. This really happened. So they're in the process of not just being honest with themselves, but of recreating their story, their plot. Honoring the call of the soul, call of the wild. This is not the call of the human. This is the call of the soul. This is not about paying off the student loan debt. This is not about buying the big house. This is not about that vacation you're going to take, or what brand clothing you wear, or what haircut you're going to have, or how you're aging. It's not about any of that. This is about what their soul is moving them towards next. They can't see this though. This is their blind spot. Feminine, your blind spot is in the midst of your own darkness that you're moving through right now. And really there's loneliness and abandonment for the feminine right now. You don't realize that there's an ally in disguise around you, hovering around you. A positive force, okay? A positive, a person that wants to assist, that wants to help. So it says, discover the hard to find blessing. Now, if this is not a person, although I feel like for the majority of feminines, it will be. There might be like 10% or 20% where it's not a person, it's an actual experience. But for those who this is an individual that you may not realize is literally right in front of you, this is going to be someone you least expect. And I don't know about you, but I've had people come in lately from all different, they've come in all different ways. I've had people come in the most unexpected ways. You're not going to be able to predict who they are, what age they are, what their sex is, what they look like, or any of those things. But it's going to be somebody who comes in and walks through that door and you go, and they understand you. You're going to feel understood, Divine Feminine. You're going to be encountering a lot of different types of people. A lot of different experiences and circumstances are popping up right now for the Divine Feminine. It's not like we're being tested like we were before. This is more about people who maybe you didn't regard as an ally in the beginning, and now you're realizing maybe you thought they were a foe, maybe you thought they were not on your side, maybe it was a complicated or complex relationship or situation, but now it's turning around and you're seeing the jewels in this situation. You're seeing the beauty in meeting this person or having this experience. So if you know that a supposed enemy is really helping you on your journey, especially if you've gone through any altercations recently or arguments with somebody and you might have even thought, I'm never going to speak to that person again. You might be surprised and you might find that things are turning around, and you just might find that not only are things turning around, but what you didn't expect. It's like the unexpected is happening. So these are the blind spots right now for the masculine energy, internally and externally, for the feminine energy, internally and externally. So you can relax, Divine Feminine, because everything that's challenging you or has challenged you in the past has made you a better person, and now you're seeing how you respond differently to life. Now you're having the ability to take a step back and really see yourself through this lens of growth. This is what this has been. These supposed foes have become allies. Maybe not in physical form. Maybe they're not your ally in physical form, but in another form. Maybe it's energetically. They've shown you who you truly are. They've shown you who you don't want to be. They've shown you where your growth is. And that is worth its weight in gold alone. You are who you are and where you are, Divine Feminine, because of what you want, what you've been through. Not in spite of it, but because of everything you've been through. This is the part of the journey, where it's a road of trials. This is where there are trials. In addition, this comes after the belly of the whale, and then we have the road of trials. Then you have the supreme ordeal where you discover your superpower and you move out of fear and you move into trust, and then you go into the reward stage where it's like, then you get rewarded for your efforts, for everything that you've put into this journey, everything that you've put into yourself. There's one more card that wants to come out here. What is the blind spot in the union energy? And with Scorpio, we've had this focus on death and what is not working and what is dying, and it can seem a little gruesome for people who aren't Scorpionic, or Plutonian. So if the Scorpio energy with this South Node in Scorpio, you're like, God, this just feels like a dark abyss. The Scorpios are like, hell yeah, I revel in this. I revel in the darkness. But not everyone feels that way, especially if you're an air sign. You're in these deep waters. You're going to want to come up for air. Or if you're a fire sign, this can be challenging. If you're an earth sign, I say fire or air in particular would have more challenges with this. But in the union energy, we have there's no place like home. Nestle into the sweetness. It's so interesting because this is about, this could speak to the fear of stepping out of your comfort zone, right? This is that first part of the journey when you're in the ordinary world. You haven't yet made your way to the extraordinary, or you think you haven't, I should say. And this is just about you really appreciating how do you define home? And that's one thing we're doing right now If you've been following me for a while, I've been talking about this identity shift that we're going through right now as a collective. This identity shift that we go from not necessarily like, what is home to me? And not maybe feeling at home where you're at, or not feeling settled, feeling restless. The Divine Feminine has, you know, been feeling a lot of her counterparts' energy. The Divine Masculines are restless, so the Divine Feminine feels restless, and she feels like, I have to do something at all times. It could be hard for you to be, you know, reading or studying right now. It could be hard for you to sit still. It's been hard for me to do readings because it means I have to sit down and be still for 30 or 40 minutes. And it's like, it could feel like you have ADD or ADHD. That's another label, by the way. There's a lot more to it than that. But it could feel like you're hyperactive, let's say that. And so for the Divine Feminine right now, find a place inside of yourself that feels like home, but also find a place in your environment that feels like home. Whether it's a neighbor's house or a coffee shop, or it's actually home, right? If you're lucky enough to still have family nearby or friends that are like family. As we move into holiday season, I think we're going to feel a lot of warmth and a lot of closeness, and a lot of families making amends, a lot of people wanting to spend time together this year, really appreciating each other because of what we've been through in recent years. So there's going to be this sense of community, or it might be like a Friendsgiving, you know, for some people if here in America or Canada, right? You could be celebrating Friendsgiving, or wherever else a Thanksgiving is celebrated. I'm not quite sure off the top of my head. Those two countries just came to mind. But anyway, any sort of holiday that, you know, you might be experiencing, it's like, we're going to want to experience it together. We're going to want to do this together and get through it together. So I see that coming through really clearly. So it's like we search the whole world, right? We move away, we search the whole world. We go to college, we do these things, and we're searching for ourselves, and then realizing, oh, I was home all along. Because really you're home within yourself. But you return home. There's nothing quite like the comfort of home. Some place that feels like home. It might not be parents, it might be siblings, it might be aunts or uncles or grandparents or friends. It could be a spouse, but it's that feeling like you go there and you're home. You can open up the refrigerator, and you just know that you're welcomed, and you know that you're safe. That's what the Divine Feminine is really, and Divine Masculine right now are really understanding. And I really feel like the Divine Masculine, part of his blind spot is not realizing that his home is in the Divine Feminine. That, you know, he doesn't realize, like, wait a second, where I feel most at home is actually with my feminine. He's fought that for a long time. So there will be a coming home. I feel like there will be a reunion of some sort. You guys been cleaning a lot too? Just thought I'd throw that out there. I mean, I'm a clean person anyway, but cleaning is how I'm dealing with the restless energy that I'm picking up on. Now, part of this is the Divine Feminine to carry, and part of this is the masculine who is feeling restless within himself. So both counterparts are feeling this as you change, because change is uncomfortable. Change is not easy. Change doesn't happen overnight. So both counterparts are feeling it, just in their own different way. There is talk about 2023, and I've mentioned this, being an exceptional year. Okay, we have 4 months left of this year, but I wanted to mention that, you know, because those of you who might need some hope right now, or who feel like you're really struggling, 2023 being exceptional. I didn't say easy, but exceptional. So we'll talk more about the energies of 2023 as we get a little bit later on in the year. I will start to look into the astrology, and sometime next year I will be offering birth chart readings as well. I'm in the process of getting my certification. I've been a student of astrology for 22 years, almost 23 years, but I'm getting officially professionally certified And that's very, very exciting. So I'm very excited, but I do offer astrological readings at this time. I offer transit readings. It's a card reading in addition to some astrology. And then I offer my infamous North Node reading, which is my most popular reading to date. I think even more popular than the Twinflame readings. You can check all that out on the website to see what it's all about. So 6 of Cups coming up. I don't know, if this is a blind spot, but the counterparts don't realize that they're actually, there's a little bit of pining and longing for each other, a little bit of nostalgia coming up here, little, that remembrance of who you are. But again, because this came up, there's no place like home. This is like, there's no place like home, and home is in each other's arms. I do strongly, guys, I'm feeling a reunion coming in, actually. I do. I'm going to put these up here because I feel the reunion energy coming in. And I haven't felt that energy, guys, in over a year. I haven't felt that energy since July, since we had the Mars-Venus conjunction, the exact conjunction in July of 2021. So July, August, September, October, November. So that is 14 months. That's a long time. That's almost a year and a half. So this is a door that has opened. And it's a door of opportunity. It doesn't mean that you're guaranteed to come into union. It doesn't mean there's a guarantee of communication or a guarantee that your counterpart will be divorced or will reach out or you'll see them. But it's the possibility and potentiality for merging to occur. We have these, interestingly enough, we have these 2 major arcana cards, the reflection card, the hermit card, and then the strength card. So, I mean, yeah, you go into hermit mode off and on throughout this entire journey, because what happens is you receive a download or an upgrade or insight or new spiritual gifts, and then you go within to process, right? You go within to process what it is that you're learning. So, but this is about, going into your own heart space and learning. This is about, it's to learn about oneself, to understand oneself. What are my motivations? What are my reasons for getting excited? What are my reasons for being upset? What are my reasons for living? What are my reasons for pushing forward when things are tough? What do I believe in, right? This is like, how can I understand myself better? So you go within the cave of your own heart and you study. Maybe you meditate. Maybe you write in a diary. Maybe you create a vision board. Maybe you go on a spiritual solo quest on a physical adventure. But in some way, you're really tapping into your own energy. The strength card is the courage card. So calling on all my Leos out there, this is your energy here. And this is, courage is called to answer the call, divine masculine. And courage is called for you to see your challenges in a brighter light, for you to see that they're actually there to serve you and to help you. I mean, it takes courage to do that, because it's much easier just to play victim, right? It would be a lot easier to play victim and blame the counterpart for everything. It'd be much easier to play victim and blame other people for everything. This is about taking accountability. It's part of the huge part of this journey is taking accountability for oneself. Taking accountability for your actions, for your choices, not blaming others. That's a lot of cards. I am not going to take all those. It's like 18 cards. I feel like I'm not getting a good shuffle here, guys. Give me a moment here. What are the blind spots for the divine masculine? I just heard his divine feminine. Uh-huh. Like you are his blind spot. Beloved. Yeah. Beloved, radical acceptance. Oh, that about sums it up. Yeah, his blind spot is radical acceptance. You can't make this up. Radical acceptance of the connection, radical acceptance of his love for you, radical acceptance of this supernatural experience that he's had with you that doesn't make any fucking logical sense, but that has taken him for the ride of his emotional life. And that has turned his world, his physical world upside down. I mean, he has to know by now, he has to understand. It was after meeting my feminine that I went through all these changes, that I went through all the physical changes in my world. It was after meeting her. So he sees you as the catalyst. Guys, and just so you know, if you're new to my channel, I use he and she, but it's not a gender, it is an energy. But the divine masculine sees you as his catalyst, but it's got to be deeper than that, right? It's got to be more than just seeing you as a catalyst. Now he's starting to, okay, why can't I, if it was just a catalyst, he says to himself, I would have forgotten her by now, but I can't forget her. So what does this mean then, if I can't forget this person? He might have labeled you a soulmate at one time. He might have said, we have a special connection. You mean a lot to me. He might have said all these things. But what he couldn't comprehend or come to terms with was the depth of the connection. He thought that it would fade with time, as other connections do. He says to himself, I've been able to get over a divorce. I've been able to get over, the death of a parent. I've been able to get over, all of these things. And what I haven't been able to get over is you. So this is his blind spot. The divine feminine is his blind spot. Radical acceptance of this divine connection that has been a gift, even though it didn't always seem that way. You can only see it as a gift when you've matured to a certain degree, right? Yeah, I can't make this up, guys. Oh my God, this is funny. Okay, look. Don't shut it off now, guys. This is getting good. Okay, look. Sky Dancers, surrender. What are the divine masculine's blind spots? Being able to surrender and have radical acceptance of his beloved, of the beloved, of himself, of radical cosmic acceptance of this unconditional love that he feels for you. He realizes now, you are me in another body. He gets this. He realizes this. He's come to this on his own terms. He has his own labels or terms for it or explanations, but this is the conclusion he's come to. What are his blind spots? I can't make this up. The divine feminine. His blind spot is, it's like he would have preferred maybe to have stayed in this safe womb, which was the beginning of meeting you in the physical, that beginning place where it felt like a honeymoon period, where the outside world couldn't touch you or couldn't harm you or couldn't alter this connection. But now the divine masculine realizes, I have to emerge from that womb space and accept the divine feminine within myself in order to bring back or call back in my divine feminine. He realizes the key that he holds to seeing you again is working on himself and connecting to the feminine energy within himself. That, okay, is a blind spot that the divine masculine is working. How fascinating. And then lastly, for the masculine, we got lay of the land, ancestral wisdom. It's a very root chakra centered card. Root and sacral, and a little solar plexus as well, those lower underbelly chakras, okay? The ones that create the foundation for us to spiritually grow and spiritually advance and access our gifts. They anchor us, they ground us. So he's starting to realize the shaman that he is, the healer that lies inside of him. He's like, wait a second. I know the lay of this land. I know this journey. Okay, this is about him learning This is about past lives and that connection or reconnection to past lives that he's had with you. This is also about the wisdom, the innate wisdom that he's accessing from those past lives that are now helping him to move forward with you in this lifetime. He's realizing, I am my own elder. I am my own wise one. I am my own guide. I am my own shaman. I am my own teacher. I am my own healer. And this is what the feminine has been working on as well. This is interesting. He's going to be successful in this. Divine feminine blind spots. Fortune's wheel, luck and right timing. Wheel of fortune. Coupled with eyes of the ego rising above the fray, rising above any pettiness, misunderstandings, disagreements, not seeing eye to eye, not being able to see eye to eye in the past, feeling like you were on different pages with your counterpart. Some of you may feel like, how can we ever move forward? This could be your blind spot because we're different. We don't have the same belief systems. We don't see things the same way. How could this ever work? You have to rise above the fray. You have to bring yourself into a highest perspective. This is also about trust. This is about protection, okay? So when you have the eagle's foresight, you can see what's coming so you can plan better. This is about you keeping your heart open, yet also, and displaying that vulnerability, yet also making sure that those boundaries are intact. But this is about you ultimately seeing things from that higher perspective, rising above any pettiness. This is an invitation to witness all that is happening, the good, the bad, the ugly, but not react. And that's what the feminine, that's what you're mastering. This is mastery of self, feminine. Mastery of self, trusting. This is both of these cards. Trust in timing. Trust in the divine map that has been laid out for you. There is a map. Your soul knows it. Your human self doesn't. The physical self doesn't know it, but the soul does. That's why this journey doesn't make sense. Life doesn't make sense really to the human self. Like, what the fuck are we doing this all for? Right? Like, have you ever had that thought? And if you're watching this, I'm guessing you have. I get up, I do the same thing every day. I make myself breakfast. I brush my teeth. Right? I vacuum, I go to work, I have my coffee, I blah, blah, blah. And then I do it over again and over again. And it can feel like one big Groundhog Day. This is how we know we're detaching from the matrix, when you can see that and step back from that and realize, whoa, that's not me. that is a cycle, that's a pattern, that's what I'm expected to do. So when you are a starseed, like myself and like many of you out there, you recognize that there is more to life than what meets the eye. There's more to life than what we've been shown, what we've been told, what we've been taught. And so you start seeking answers. Nobody will divulge them to you, right? Because everything is tightly kept, the answers, the secrets. And suddenly, you're like, wait a second, I'm not going to find the answer in a history book. I'm not going to find the answer on TV or Netflix. I'm going to find the answer within myself. I'm going to start seeking teachers and elders and wisdom. And I'm going to start finding my own way. This is what we're doing collectively. So the blind spot right now in a major way is trusting your energy, trusting the divine, trusting that you're co-creating and co-partnering. You're partnering with the divine. You're not in this alone. Your counterpart is in this with you. You're in this with them. You guys are doing this together. Rise above any obstacles or judgments or challenges right now, divine beings. And trust that you're ready for whatever is coming up next. Because the Wheel of Fortune is like, I don't know what you're going to get. Let's spin the wheel. What are you going to get? What are you going to get? I don't know. It could be everything you've ever wanted. It could be another challenge, another perceived limitation or obstacle for you to overcome, right? Why? Because it's an ally in disguise. Remember, you're on this internal quest for spiritual truth and knowledge. Guys, this journey just gets juicier and juicier and deeper and deeper. So Thank you for being along for the ride with me. Thank you for watching and witnessing and holding space for my evolution as a reader and as a divine feminine, as a twin flame myself. I see you, I honor you, I recognize you. I look forward to working with you in any capacity that may come up and may come to fruition in form. And I'm going to go ahead and we're going to end on that note. So again, if you'd like to work with me, the website is in the description box listed below. You can check out my readings and offerings. And also to let you know that we will be having a brand new group coaching program. Actually, it's going to be more of, I need to redefine the label that we're giving it. It will be a group program, I'll call it that for now, that is going to come up in this fall, which is my absolute favorite time of the year. It's a harvest time. So we're going to incorporate astrology. We're going to incorporate many, many beautiful things and aspects of this journey. I can't wait to share that with you and have you be a part of it. More to come on that, but lots of you have been asking, so I wanted to just speak on that for a moment. And lots of good things to come here as we round out 2022 and as we step into a brand new year. I know you guys are so very ready for this. The world is ready for this. We're ready to turn the page. So looking forward to doing that with you all. Take good care, and I'll see you in the next reading, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you to my incredible supportive moderators as well.